The West Louisville Forum will be held on Wednesday, November 6th at noon in sight of the St. Stephen Family Life Center, 1508 West Kentucky Street. Our special guest speaker will be noted author and visiting professor at the University of Kentucky, Dr. George Wright. Come out and hear his unique perspective as a native Kentuckian and on the history of Blacks in Kentucky. Following the forum, lunch will be available for purchase at Maddie's Kitchen. Attention! The Simmons JCPS Transition to Teaching Initiative is looking for a few good men and women to be mentors to our students. Teaching experience is preferred but not required. If you're interested in making an impact for this historic group, email Angela French Coles at angela.frenchcoles@jefferson.kyschools.us or call Simmons College of Kentucky at 502-776-1443 for more information. The LEAD conference is just about here and we have a special seat reserved just for you. The conference will be held on November 11th through the 13th at the St. Stephen Baptist Church Louisville campus, 1018 South 15th Street. The conference theme is revamping and revitalizing ministry in the church and community. Special guest presenters include the Reverend Dr. F. Bruce Williams, our president, Reverend Dr. Kevin W. Cosby, NBCA president, Dr. Samuel C. Tolbert Jr., and moderator of the General Association, Dr. Bernard Creighton. Topics covered will be pastoral leadership and ministry for the church and community, when it hurts to go to church, expanding your Sunday school and Bible class through the use of technology, and how to lead in a world of distractions. If you're interested in strengthening your knowledge on church leadership, sign up for your seat today in the concourse. You're now up to date on the happenings at Simmons College of Kentucky. Please be sure to give us a like on Facebook and follow us on Twitter to stay updated, or visit us online at simmonscollegeky.edu. Hey St. Stephen, here are your church announcements. Hey little ones, come join in the fun. You're invited to the Youth Fall Festival at the Cosbys on Friday, November 8th at 6 p.m. There will be fun, games, desserts, Bible trivia, and so much more. Parents interested in your child attending? Contact Lanisha Porter at lporter@ssclive.org. The season for giving is here, and we need your help with our Thanksgiving baskets. We're requesting donations today. Items needed are turkeys, small boxes of stuffing mix, cans of green beans, cans of corn, cranberry sauce, dinner rolls, and desserts. Louisville donations can be dropped off inside of the Family Life Center. The deadline for donations is Sunday, November 17th. If you are interested in volunteering to deliver the baskets or know someone in need, please contact, in Hardin County, Miss Arnett Story at astory@ssclive.org. Southern Indiana, Miss Michelle Murphy at mmurphy@ssclive.org. And on the Louisville campus, Miss Erica Taylor at etaylor@ssclive.org. On Saturday, November 9th at 10 a.m., St. Stephen Southern Indiana's Emergency Response Team presents Blessed and Unstoppable, strengthening your mind, body, and spirit. The special guest speaker will be Dr. Giovanni Rondo, who will provide tips for men and women on how to live a long and healthy life. Workout classes will also take place from Zumba trainer Paula Allen, also YMCA personal trainer Tony Jackson. Come dressed to begin your workout. Calling all veterans. Veterans Day is coming up and we want to honor you. Please be sure to sign up in the concourse if you are a veteran. And again, we thank you for your service. We are taking it to the streets. A special evangelism moment is coming up. Minister Geneva Nelson has more. Geneva?
Hello, I'm Geneva Nelson, Christian Education Director for St. Stephen. And I am excited. You're talking about a November to remember. We are going to have a November to remember. Why? This is Bag Month, B-A-G. You know, we talked about bring a guest. Well, we're going to also use bag to mean be about going. And that's where you come in. We are going to have an evangelism walk for Christ on Saturday, November the 16th. That's all campuses, Hardin County, Indiana, and the Louisville campus at 9 o'clock that morning. Gather at your campus so that we can go out and spread the word as Jesus told us to do. And here's what. During this month, we are going to talk about friends don't let friends die lost. here's the good one. Break the play and run the, break the huddle and run the play. Too many times we huddle for worship service and for Bible study, but we never run the play. And then after that, the next lesson is going to be the church has left the building. Woo, I can't wait for that one. We need to lead the building as Christ said. He compels us, go to the highways and the byways and tell men to come. Why don't you come? That's everybody. Everybody. Yeah, I said it. Everybody. Please come out and be a part of this. Thank you.
The highly anticipated Chapel Choir Reunion Choir Thanksgiving concert is just weeks away. This anointed body, under the direction of James Davis and Brian Bosley, will be hosting their concert at our Hardin County campus on Sunday, November 17th at 6 p.m. Those are your church announcements. Now, let's get ready for worship. Be blessed.
We're going to be meeting at St. Stephen's on November 16th from 1 to 2:30 in room 303. It's our monthly free home buying seminar. We've been doing these since January of 2016. And the purpose of our seminars is to raise awareness and educate folks on home ownership. We're trying to get them off that rental treadmill, which is very true. There's a lot of folks who start renting and they don't get off that treadmill. They continue to rent, and those rent receipts add up. And not only do they add up, it does not create any equity. You're paying someone else's mortgage. We want you to be able to have that home ownership, that piece of the American pie. And we feel like through our seminars, we provide information that gets you prepared to own a home. So we want to remove some of the misconceptions and let you know how easy it might be to own a home.
Hello, this is Curtis Owens, and I'm here with my colleague,
Cornelius Pumphrey.
and we're here with the Louisville Homebuyer Community Initiative. And we wanted to inform everyone that we're having a home buying seminar, and it's going to be at St. Stephen Family Life Center on December the 16th at 1 o'clock p.m. to 2:30 p.m., and it's going to be in room 303 in the Family Life Center. That's November the 16th, 1 o'clock to 2:30 p.m. And we want everyone to come out to attend, because we know home ownership is very important, and we're stressing the importance of home ownership. Now I want to do a little brief history to explain to you why home ownership is so important. Back in the 1920s, there was a boom in America. There was the Industrial Revolution was going on, and there were jobs plenty. There was a lot going on. And then all of a sudden, the Wall Street crashed in 1929. And in the 30s, there was the Great Depression. So things took a downturn in the economy. At that time, it was difficult for people to own homes. The homes that people owned, they had to put 50% down, and the terms were 3 to 5 year terms, which meant that you had to be wealthy to purchase a house at that point in time. So something had to be done so that the average person could purchase a home. So what took place was there was a company, an organization, a government organization that took hold in 1934 called the Federal Housing Administration, and many of you know of it as HUD. I mean, as FHA. Now, FHA started to create loans so that low and moderate income people could buy homes with longer terms and less down payment. The only problem was that Black Americans were cut out of that initiative, and so there was a situation that came about, and in the Black neighborhoods, where there's a line drawn around the Black neighborhoods, and it's called redlining, in which the loans, these FHA loans, could only apply to people that were outside that red line, and so therefore, there was 3 generations of homeownership that Black America was unable to participate in the 30s, the 40s, the 50s. And then in the 60s, 1968, the Fair Housing Act was passed. And that ensured that everyone could purchase a home, no matter their race, creed, color, and sexual orientation, et cetera. So until that time, Black America was cut out of the equation on home ownership. But 1968 came around, and at that particular point in time, in 1968, we were at 42% home ownership as Black people, 42% home ownership. But what took place is an upsurge in the market in 2006. Houses were selling. I remember it was a heyday, and houses were selling like crazy, and Black ownership got up to 46%. After that, the mortgage crisis took hold, and when the mortgage crisis took hold, it reduced Black home ownership again to 42%. Now, the thing that I have to report today, and which is so tragic, and that's why I have to speak on this, is that Black home ownership is only at 40.6% today. 40.6%. Now, if 40.6% was the aggregate home ownership, it would be a tragedy in America, and it is a tragedy in the Black community. So that we need to get home ownership up, because that's how you build wealth. That's one of the best ways to build wealth in the community is through home ownership. So we've lost 3 generations, the 30s, the 40s, the 50s in home ownership. Now we need to show the importance of home ownership. Now we sell houses to everybody. We want everybody to be homeowners, but we have to look at the fact that this tragedy is taking place in the Black community, and we have to address it. And us as realtors, we have to do something about it. We have to make sure that we get home ownership rates up. And by doing that, we do that by showing the importance of home ownership. So that's why we're having the home buying seminars, to show the importance of home ownership, why it's important to buy a house. And so, there's a National Association of Real Estate Brokers has enacted a program called House Then Car. House then car. In other words, you want to buy your house before you buy your car. A lot of people got Land Rovers now, don't have any land, but we want to be able to buy a house before buying the car. We want to show the importance of ownership, and we got to change the mindsets of people's spending habits in order to do that. And I think Mr. Cornelius Pumphrey wants to talk a little bit about people's spending habits and the importance of addressing that in order to be in the arena for home ownership.
Hello, I'm Cornelius Pumphrey, realtor since 1977. And what I illustrate here at the Home Buying Seminar is a simple budget. The budget shows, it's a 30-day budget. It shows the housing, how much you pay for rent, your car, your loan, your student loan, charge accounts, credit cards, and things like that. And if you can master this budget and have money, then you can be prepared for a potential opportunity. Potential opportunities are going to come when you establish a budget. So if you have money set aside, you are somewhat ready to buy a house, but you also have to have a good credit score. Your credit score should be at least 630, 640 or something like that. But if you really use this budget as well as you can, you're preparing for the future, and you know what the future holds. When you budget, you know what you're doing and why you're doing it, and why you should try to set as much money aside for eventualities that are going to come up potentially in the future. Because once you get in the house, there are going to be things that you have to do or things you might want to do. You might want to have certain things done. You might want to have things painted. You might want to have things remodeled. You might want to just set some money aside so that once you get into a house, you can afford to stay there. Because a lot of the expenses that are dictated by renting are going to be maybe a little bit more when you buy, because you own the house. So that means you do all your own painting, you do all your own plumbing, you have to put all your own appliances in, and all these things that come up once you own a house. But if you don't prepare for it, then you won't know that these things are going to come up, and as soon as you get in, you could find yourself back out. And also, it builds a little bit of courage on your part because you're saving your own money. And once you save your own money, you're preparing for what is going to come, because if something comes and you don't have money coming or money saved, you could find yourself on the outside anyway. So we all should learn to save our money and learn how to use money and not let money use you. If you do these things, you'll be glad in the end, because once you get in the house and you go past your first year, you'll be able to say, well, that first year didn't bring a whole lot, but I'm ready for the second year and the third year and the fourth year. And as time goes on, you'll find tax credits, you'll find all kind of information available that is going to help you stay in that house and eventually pay for it, because you can pay for a house in a length of time, because you're going to have 30 years, but you can also pay for it in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and 25. So if you save your money, you're going to be far ahead of the game because it's your own money and you don't owe anybody for it. So if you set that money aside through a systematic budget, if it's only $5 a month, that's 12 months is $60 a year. Well, if you have $60 a year, that's more than you had initially. So try to learn to save your money and also utilize this budget, because you have some fixed costs and you have some costs that are going to come up. So if you're saving your money, when those things that come up, you have the money for them, and you have some fixed costs. This can help you escalate your payments, your house payments, your insurance payments, your taxes, and all the other eventualities that will come, provided you get that credit score up. And getting your credit score up is no more than paying your bills on time, and try to pay some off. If you can pay your bills off or try to get them paid ahead, that gives you a little breathing room, because there are a lot of costs associated with a house, but at the same time, it's your house because you own it.
Now, I want to reiterate that our home ownership seminar is November the 16th at St. Stephen Family Life Center from 1 o'clock to 2:30 p.m., and it's in room 303. Room 303. That's November the 16th at 1 o'clock to 2:30 p.m., our Louisville Homebuyer Community Initiative Home Buying Seminar. Also, always never forget to tell everyone that it's important to buy a home. And one of the important things about buying a home is building generational wealth. When you buy a home, you can build wealth because you're building equity in that property. You're building equity, and that equity can be passed on from generation to generation. So it becomes intergenerational wealth. Now, what is equity? Some people ask, what is equity? Equity is the difference in what you owe on your property and what the value is. The difference in what you owe and the value is your equity. It's on paper, but you can access that equity when you sell your house. You can pull that equity out and use it for whatever you deem it necessary to be used for. It's important to have equity because every time you make your payment, it's increasing your equity. Every time your house increases in value, it's increasing your equity. Now, when you make a payment, let's say that you make a payment, say that your payment is $800 a month. Now, most people are paying about $800 a month or more for rent right now. If you pay $800 a month on your mortgage payment, that becomes $9,600 a year. Check my math, I'm trying to do it in my head, but $9,600 a year. In 10 years, that becomes $96,000. $96,000 that you paid in 10 years, paying $800 a month. Now, what that means is that if you were renting, you're paying your landlord $96,000 in 10 years. And if you were purchasing a home, that'd be going into your equity, that $96,000 a year. So I asked the question, who's more important, you and your family or the landlord and his family? Because when you're renting, that's what you're doing. You're taking that equity and giving it to the landlord and his family. And I hope he gets you a turkey on Thanksgiving, because you've actually taken care of that landlord instead of your own family. that $96,000 in 10 years, folks, in 20 years, that becomes $192,000 and some change. And in 30 years, I didn't want to talk about that. It's about $230,000. It gets crazy. So it makes a difference in your life whether you're renting or whether you're buying, because the equity difference is real money to you and your family. That money can be used for vacations. That money could be used for college educations. That money could be used to start a business. That money could just be used to pass on to your next generation. But that intergenerational wealth is very important. It's very key. Another thing is when you're renting, rents usually go up about 5% on the average per year. Now, if your rent goes up 5% a year, that means in 20 years, your rent actually doubles. Your mortgage payment, if it's a fixed rate mortgage, stays the same the length of the loan, and it never changes, so your payment stays the same. But when you're renting, you may pay a little bit more every year, and it can get to be doubled in the 20-year period of time. So that's another good reason that it's important to buy as opposed to rent. And then you have a pride of ownership. When you're buying a home, it's yours. You can knock the wall out if you want to. You can paint it pink, or whatever you want to do. You can do it because it's your particular property. You can put flowers out, and you can put new cabinets in to increase the value of your property. You can do all these things because you're the owner. When you're not the owner, you don't have that pride of ownership, and it makes a difference in your mental thinking when you have a pride of ownership. Now, it's important to get a realtor when you're buying a home. And what is a realtor? A realtor is a person like Cornelius and myself that's a member of the of the National Association of Realtors. And we have a strict code of ethics that we have to follow. And it doesn't cost you anything to get a realtor. A lot of people think, well, I don't have any money to pay a realtor. Well, we work for free. I put a sign up, I work for free. We work for free because the seller actually pays the realtor. The seller of the house actually pays. You don't have to pay a penny, but you can choose a realtor that can represent you in the purchase of a home. And you want a realtor because we've done this a time or two. I've sold hundreds and hundreds of houses, and Cornelius has been in the business for 40 years. I've been in the business 27 years. I've sold hundreds and hundreds of houses, so I know what happens in the process. I understand the process. I understand the contract. We understand how this works. So it's important to have a realtor that you don't have to figure it all out. We already know how it works. We can navigate you through the process. And once you've gotten a realtor, you could look on the sign. I mean, there's a sign out there that says the house is for sale, and you call that realtor. But who is that realtor representing on the sign? That realtor is representing the seller. So why not get your own realtor if it doesn't cost you anything? Why not get your own realtor? And you get your own realtor. I mean, if you're getting a divorce, you wouldn't want to get your spouse's attorney, would you? So why would you want to use the seller's realtor? And you can get your own realtor to represent your interests totally. So that's what we tell people: get a realtor. And if you can't remember but two things out of all the things we tell you, because in the home buying seminar, we're going to give you a great deal of information. You're going to get information from a variety of experts in every field of the process of purchasing a home. But if you remember two things, you'll be okay. Remember, you got to get pre-approved, go to your mortgage person, and get a realtor. We can handle the rest for you. We can get you through the rest. So that's all you need to do. So the process, we'll talk about the process next time, and so that you'll know exactly what the process is of purchasing a home. I don't know if we're out of time or not. I could go through the process if you want to go through the process.
And one more thing, learn to use money instead of letting money use you. If you learn to use money, you won't be afraid to take faith and works and put it to use. If you don't learn to use money, you'll always be behind. If you don't save, you'll always be saying, what if I had? Make that dream come true. Utilize your faith, utilize money, and you'll be ahead of the game. Thank you.